Good evening, Lake Orion. Welcome to Lake Orion Boys Basketball Preview Show on ONTV. I'm your host, Anthony Taormina, and I'm here with Coach Jim Manzo. Boss, how are you doing?
How you doing, Ant?
Wonderful.
Thanks for having us.
I'm also here with senior Jake Rydquist. How are you doing?
Good to see you, Ant.
Senior Kyle Loken.
How you doing?
And junior Jack Cummins. How are you guys doing?
Good.
I want to recap. I want to talk, before we get into this season, I want to talk about last season. Last season, we went 17-4, won a league championship, undefeated at home, beat every team in our league once, 3-0 in the OAA White, beat some really, really good teams. What's your take about that, Muff?
Well, it seems like we were sitting here last year, and I think one goal we had was to win the league, and we did that. And I think the seniors wanted to take that next step, and the next step was to move up a division. And as I'm sure you're going to get into, now it ended up that we went up 2. So I think we sit here now, and next year, or last year's over, but it was a lot of fun. There were a lot of great games, and I think it meant something special, extra special at the end, that nobody beat us on our own floor. But now, you know, the task is different. It's a much tougher task, but I mean, they're gonna speak too. But I think we just want to take that next step and show that we belong. It's the first time the boys basketball team has played in the red, and I think everybody's excited for it.
You also lose 4 great seniors from last year. You can tell me what's your take about that?
Well, it's funny because I've been in contact with all 4 of them just within the last month, and they're all wanting to know how things are going, and they're definitely going to be watching. And I think what we'll miss about them was their unselfish leadership, whether they were playing or not playing. They still led. They still cheered on their teammates. It was a very sacrificing group. They gave up a lot of playing time or personal glory just kind of for the benefit of the team. And but I think you feel that vacancy at the beginning because you don't have that booming Drew Crane voice. You don't have the little things that Jamie did in games at practices, and then just the competitiveness of Pierce and Casey every night. So they laid the groundwork for these guys, and now it's time that they take the torch and pass it on to the next group.
Jake, what's your take from last season?
Yeah, with the seniors especially, I thought each one of them brought something that helped all of us learn in a new way. You know, Jamie brought like a different IQ for the game that I think helped all of us, and Drew with his leadership and just being a real vocal leader. And then Casey and Pierce brought the competitiveness to practice every day that I think made everybody better in the long run.
Kyle?
Well, you know, they set like the groundwork for what we're going to aim to be this year, you know. Like, they showed us how good we could potentially be if we do all the little things right. And they always did the little things right, which I thought was another huge part.
Jack?
I think if you take one skill from their game, you get scoring from Jamie, defense from Drew, and hustle from both Casey and Pierce, and basically builds you like a perfect player if we all strive to be like them.
I want to talk to you guys about the returners from this year's team. You guys return a lot of players this year. I want to talk to you about the returners. What's your take, Buff?
Well, I mean, we're going into a new league, and I think one of the things that is nice about that is they don't know a lot about us, and we don't really know a lot about them other than, what teams lose to graduation, just like we did. But we return a good chunk of our team, and as you look up and down the lineup, it's not just kids that played, kind of a small role. I think we probably, of our returning group, there was probably 7 or 8 guys that at one point were in the starting lineup. So if you're in the starting lineup, you're playing more of a role than just someone who is spotting somebody for a couple of minutes. Having said all that, one of the knocks, if there was any, that is out there about our team from a year ago was that, our league wasn't very good or this team wasn't very good. Well, still won 17 games, and even the games that we lost, we were within earshot of winning those too. And I think the way the season ended, going to Clarkston and giving them a good competitive game, kind of, as I told the guys in the locker room afterwards, it kind of solidified the season because, you know, we probably played them as tough as anybody did from there on out. And it just showed our guys, like Kyle said, there was kind of a standard that was set. And if you work hard and do things right and you're unselfish and you're going to buy into what the coaching staff and the team is preaching, that we're going to be okay. So I'm very excited for the challenge. There's not going to be any off nights, and I think that's where that experience will help. And it also makes our practices more competitive because even though they're all friends, they're still competing, and they're competing for minutes. And when their buddy's out on the floor, they're going to be pulling for him just as they would hope that he would be pulling for them. So I think it's a healthy competition having that many guys back.
Jack, what's your take about the returners?
There's like four of us who have 3 years of varsity, and other ones that have been pulled up and been here. So we're all like in the system now.
Kyle?
Well, I like the amount we're returning because I feel like it helps our bench get deeper. And like Coach Manzo said, our practices are just battles every day, and that's the only way you can get better, just by battling against each other.
Jake?
Yeah, the amount of experience we have returning, I think, and all the depth that we have now because of this. I mean, for a lot of guys, you know, they know how it goes now, and they know what they have to bring every day, and it's going to really help the younger guys with their first year too, seeing how much experience we have returning and seeing what to bring to practice every day, and you know how it should be done.
I want to bring up the summer league. You guys can participate in a lot of summer leagues throughout the summer. You also participated in a fall league. Can you talk to me about that?
Well, in my soon-to-be 14th year, we've never had that busy of a summer. We were all over the place playing, and it was against really good competition. But we needed it because when you lose 4 seniors, that 4 senior captains that all played significant roles, you have people stepping in and now being expected to perform. One thing that will keep you up at night as a basketball coach is you take a guy out of your lineup that averages 22 points a game and he's gone. Well, you got to find a way to make up for that 22 points, and I don't think we're asking anybody to do that, but it's going to have to be done collectively. So I think the summertime was real important for us because we played a lot and we played some different teams that we don't normally see. The Grand Valley team camp was really good for us. We got to get away for a couple days, and anytime you do that, it's just good for the morale of the team, and we had a successful camp. So, but all that stuff doesn't matter. On a week from Monday, we'll start gearing up, and we're all looking forward to that.
I wanted to ask you about what your take was about the, before I ask the guys, what's your take about boys starting earlier than girls this year?
Well, it certainly feels earlier, and I've never coached a basketball game in November, and that'll be a first. So I don't know that don't have an opinion of it yet because we really haven't done it. But playing 7 games before Christmas, I mean, you're almost 40% into your season. Granted, a lot of those will be non-league games, but there are 2 big league games right before the Christmas break. So maybe around Christmas time I'd have a better answer, but it does feel like it's early, but I think everybody kind of wants to start, so I don't think the guys mind at all.
Jake, what's your take about the about what you guys did over the summer?
Over the summer, I think the amount of games we played and the teams we played against really helped to build our team chemistry. Because although we have a lot of returners, we have a lot of guys that haven't been with us before too. And so I thought it was nice to help us all build up and, you know, getting used to who can add what in certain situations. And it really helped too that we played some really solid teams.
Kyle, what's your take?
Well, I just liked how school usually ends and everybody usually just goes summer, goes on boats, but we went right into basketball. We set the tone that this season we're coming out hard. We're gonna be one of the top teams hopefully.
Jack?
We had a core group of guys that were there every day, so we were all playing with each other, like 30 games this summer, so it was just good to play.
Any final thoughts about the about anything we talked about, Coach?
I don't think so. I think you can feel a little, a sense in the community. I mean, there definitely will be an interest. I think the momentum of the football program can only help us. I think by the time this airs, it'll be over. But a nice win on Friday would go a long way, because we'd love to see that football season go as long as possible. It builds momentum in the school. It builds interest. We may talk about it later, but finally a more traditional basketball schedule where there's a lot of Tuesday and Friday games. That's kind of how I grew up when I played here, and 6 Friday home games.
Yeah.
6 thanks to you. But that's exciting. I think a lot of people are looking forward to that. There's good teams coming to Lake Orion, and we're going to have a good product on the floor, and it's going to be fun.
Jack, any final thoughts?
No. Okay.
Jake, Kyle, any final thoughts?
I just think, basketball's in the air, and I think everybody's ready for it.
Yeah, I'm excited, looking forward to it, ready to start now.
We'll be right back with the Lake Orion Boys Basketball Preview Show on ON TV.
On Monday, October 15th, some local Michigan State fans got a surprise visit from Sparty and a few Spartan cheerleaders. The group came bearing gifts for Price Redmond and his siblings. The visit was organized by Jeff Snyder, an MSU student and Lake Orion native.
So today we're here for Price. He is a 3-year-old little boy with neuroblastoma, and we're here to just kind of cheer him up a little bit. We brought Sparty and the Michigan State cheerleaders here. They're huge state fans. It's awesome. It's really nice to see him smile.
Price is the 3-year-old son of Ben and Katie Redmond. In August, he was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma and is currently undergoing treatment.
It was found just because he had a little fever and some leg pain, and his pediatrician did some blood work and sent us over to the hospital, and that's when they found it.
What's his treatment consist of right now?
Right now he has several rounds of chemotherapy. Because it's such an aggressive cancer, his chemotherapy is strong and higher doses, so there's a lot of side effects to it. So far he's been very blessed with mild side effects, and after that he'll have surgery and then 2 stem cell transplants. Then he has radiation and antibody therapy.
Although insurance helps cover most of the expenses associated with the treatment, the family is welcoming any kind of support they can get from the community, including prayers.
Honestly, the outpouring of love has been amazing. We ask people to pray for him. That's why his page is Prayers for Price, and that's on Facebook. The biggest issues are travel expenses. We have 5 kids, and so anytime that we're gone, they're going to be with other people. Food, gas, lodging. We do a lot of our treatments over at U of M, so we'll be traveling over there quite frequently as well.
If you'd like to offer support to the family, you can visit Prayers for Price on Facebook. You can also visit the Prayers for Price page on GoFundMe.com. In Lake Orion, this is Joe Johnson reporting for ON TV News.
Welcome back to Lake Orion Boys Basketball Preview Show on ON TV. I'm your host, Anthony Taormina. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Good.
Good.
Wonderful. I want to talk about the schedule, and we mentioned this. We are making a jump from the OAA Blue to the OAA Red, where last year we were playing teams like Rochester, Farmington, Berkeley, Ferndale, Pontiac, Royal Oak, and Harrison. So now moving up to the Red, we're playing Clarkston, West Bloomfield, Troy, North Farmington, Oak Park, and Bloomfield Hills. That's a change. What's your take about that, Coach?
Well, I think I've been really trying to send a consistent message, and it's not meant to sound arrogant, but I think it's who we should be playing. I think a school our size, with the athletes that we have, with the competitive nature that we have within our program, I just think it's a long overdue, and now it's our time to show that we're not just up here to play for a year and kind of see how everything goes. We're up there to win, and we all believe that we can do that. And that's got to resonate throughout our basketball program and through our school. It's not, I wonder how our guys are going to do. I mean, I think we've all played against these teams. It's just we haven't had them all compacted in one schedule. I mean, this is the best schedule I think we've ever had. You've been around a long time, and probably since the mid-2000s. But, when you're getting the likes of, West Bloomfield twice, Troy twice, Clarkston twice, North Farmington was in a state championship game a couple years ago, Bloomfield Hills, Oak Park, who moved up a division's got a very good team, and then our non-league schedule is loaded too. Flint, Carmen, Ainsworth coming down here on a Friday.
Yep.
Adams, Avondale, Romeo. You go right on down the list. It's probably one of the best schedules we've ever had, and hopefully it's the right team for it.
Jack, what's your take about the jump from the blue to the red?
I think what Coach said, we needed it. We weren't great when we were all first coming here, and now we've been in the system for years, and we're ready to play at the highest level.
Jake, what's your take?
Yeah, I agree. I think we're definitely ready for it. I think that everybody in the program's on the same page. There's no doubt that I don't think we're scared to play anybody. I think everybody knows that we're here to win, and we're not going to back down to anybody.
Kyle?
Yeah, I'm excited for it because I know we had a pretty solid team last year. I want to see how we fare up to the top division, and I know our school is getting pretty excited for it, which will be fun.
I want to talk about the non-league schedule. We made mention Carmen Ainsworth. Open up on the road again at Avondale, and then you play Adams on the road. Those are two very, very competitive programs. Your first home game is against Troy Athens. You also have home contests with Lapeer and Romeo. Then you also host Carmen Ainsworth in January. Go to Oxford in January, and then in February you have a home contest against Notre Dame Prep. Can you talk to me, Coach, about those programs in particular?
Well, normally the league has 14 games in it, and you only had 6 non-league games to schedule. The Red Division only has 7 teams, so you play 6 people twice. That's 12 games. So it was a little bit more daunting to fill that non-league schedule, but we were also able to select what we feel were quality opponents. And, we're going to go to Avondale and Adams on the first week, 2 teams that we beat last year. So I'm sure they have those games marked on their calendar. But by the same token, we have some people that, have beat us in previous years, and that's just what makes sports great. I mean, each year you got to prove yourself, but that non-league schedule, the teams that you read, Carmen Ainsworth was probably one of the top 10 teams in the state of Michigan last year, and they returned some very good players, so that'll be a good test for us. And let's face it, I know we're going to talk about the postseason later, but that's going to be a team that, if you're going to advance, you got to beat them. So it's a great schedule to get us ready, for the postseason.
Jake, what's your take?
I think it's a great non-league schedule to get us ready for the teams that we have to play, and I think opening up with back-to-back road games against 2 competitive programs is really going to show us what we're made of right out the gate, because it's really important that we start the season strong. And yeah, I think especially playing like Carmen Ainsworth on a Friday night at home, and all these other games like that, I think it's really going to show us what we're made of, and it's really going to help us get ready for the postseason and our league games.
Kyle?
Yeah, just excited to play these competitive teams, but they're also new, so we'll get to learn how they play, and we'll have to adjust based on that, and that'll help us through the league games too.
Jack?
I think playing good teams and winning from the start will get more fans involved and get everyone more involved in what we're doing.
I want to bring up 6 Friday home games this year. We have, that's on the high end this year, 6 Friday home games. What's your take about that, Coach?
Love it. You and I had talked last year. We had 2. We had games on Monday. We had games on Wednesday. A lot of games on Thursday. A lot of times the student body didn't even know when we were playing, and nor does the community. So it's definitely moving back towards a the old school, kind of the traditional schedule, and it allows for people to look forward to, okay, they're going to be home this Friday. Look at all these Friday games, which you get the pep band out there and the students out there, and high school basketball, just like high school football, the crowd can make a difference. And back in the years when we were rolling along there, we had a really good following, and those stands were packed. And,
I remember those days.
And it was difficult to play in that building, so we're hoping to rekindle that.
That would be awesome.
Yep.
Jack, what's your take about the 6 home games?
I think it's awesome, again, getting more fans in games and having more people seeing what we're doing and watching us play and helping us.
Kyle, what's your take?
Yeah, I gotta agree with Friday nights. Nobody's doing anything on Saturday. Stay at our games later. Come to more games. Just the atmosphere will be a lot better, I think, than more like a Thursday or Tuesday night. Kids may have tests or whatnot.
Tests.
Jake? What's your
Yeah, I
take?
think a lot of people in the school are already talking about basketball because of our success from last season, and I think bringing people in on Friday nights are just going to make it even better for everybody there.
And not to interrupt, but we're also going to be playing larger schools, and they're going to bring people. So it's going to be twofold. I mean, it's going to really help the environment. And again, when these guys are, their high school years are flying by them right now. But those are some of the most memorable. I still remember playing Clarkston in that Cirque building, which everybody calls the Cirque building. That was our home. That was our high school. And the band sat right behind us, blaring in our ears, and you couldn't get a seat. And the fans were right on top of you, and it was a rivalry like it was unparalleled. And it wasn't just with Clarkston, Pontiac Northern, Waterford Kettering, Waterford Mott. I mean, it was
back in the old gold days.
Yeah, it was a great league, and it was every Tuesday and Friday. There was no other nights. So this will be fun.
That's awesome. I want to talk about districts this year. We are hosting districts. We have Lake Orion, Clarkston, Oxford, Adams, Romeo, and Kettering. One thing I noticed on the schedule, we play 4 of the 5 teams in our district at least once. What's your take about the district?
Well, if things continue and we continue to play well in our own building, that will be an advantage. And everybody talks about March Madness. If we're going to experience March Madness, we're going to have to win the district. So it'll be up to us to play in March, because with starting earlier, the districts are going to start in February, and I would hate to be out of the tournament before March. It would be nice to create a little March Madness here in Lake Orion on our own, and that's the goal. That's the goal.
It's a very competitive district, too.
Yes, it is. Good teams, and like you said, we'll see a lot of them during the year.
Jake, what's your take?
Yeah, I like that it's a very competitive district, but I think we definitely control our own destiny, and I think we'll definitely be prepared when the time comes, and I think our season, our league schedule, our non-league schedule is really going to help us to prepare for that district.
Kyle?
Yeah, districts at home, I've been looking forward to it since I heard it. It'll be fun just because the atmosphere of playoffs at Lake Orion just gets everyone riled up, and knowing all the teams that are in our district, and we're going to play most of them, it'll be fun.
Jack?
I think proving what we're going to do through the season to that day is just going to be, to those days, is just going to be fun, and seeing how many people are there and supporting us on our home court.
That'll be awesome. I'm looking forward to the season. You got me more excited this year. Oh, did you also show the players that night in that game in 1988, you and Cirque?
They may have seen that before. We'll have to break it out, though.
We might have to. You might have to.
My shorts look shorter every time I show them.
Yeah, those were. I remember you showing us that, and it was.
They made fun of me a couple years ago because I was a little emotional on the floor. I was kind of the heart and soul. I didn't score a whole lot of baskets, but
you were the heart and soul.
I helped in other ways.
That's awesome. I hope you show them that. That would be great.
I will.
I mean, it really reflects the rivalry.
Oh yeah.
Well, so many fans coming out, and then you got all the Clarkson and Oxford teams when they would come in. It was just amazing.
I unfortunately showed them a part of the game where I turned the ball over a couple of times.
Oh.
They didn't like that. So.
Oh, did they?
I did take a charge. I think I took
Well,
a charge.
that's a good thing. That's a good thing. So, any final thoughts on the schedule?
Nope.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think we're getting ready. We'll be ready.
We'll be right back with the Lake Orion Boys Basketball Preview Show on ONTV.
Throughout 2018, ONTV has been celebrating its 30th year of serving the community. Among its many objectives, ONTV does what it can to help local nonprofit organizations. Recently, the organization hosted a unique fundraiser, the first of its kind, but hopefully not the last. On Sunday, October 7th, bicyclists gathered at the ONTV studio in the Orion Center on Joslyn Road to register for the first annual ride, the LOHS fundraiser benefiting Holy Spokes. Participants crossed Joslyn and traveled along the safety path to the entrance of Orion Oaks County Park. There, approximately 40 people formed 9 teams to compete in a bike rally throughout the park.
ONTV always likes to pair up with our local charities to try to raise awareness about what they do around town and for the residents of Lake Orion, Orion Township. And this is our first. We're still celebrating our 30 years of community television here in Lake Orion, and this is our really one of our last events of 2018. So it just kind of, we needed a fall event, and we thought, hey, this might be fun to ride a beautiful park here in Orion Township in the fall season, and cider and donuts we provided, but we just didn't want to do a run. We wanted a run or a ride. We wanted to do something that was a little more fun. So it's more of a bike rally or a scavenger hunt. So the riders will go through the park, complete different tasks throughout their ride, and they have 90 minutes to do so, and we score points, and at the end, the team with the most points wins a great gift basket.
The event raised over $400 for Holy Spokes, a nonprofit organization that provides bicycles to those in need.
So Holy Spokes is a nonprofit. We're a 501c3, and we bring in bicycle donations and we fix them up and we get them back out to organizations and individuals that need them, all ages. We take in bicycle donations of all types. If we can't use them, we recycle them, so we try to keep everything out of the landfills and get them out to people that need them.
At the conclusion of the bike rally, participants enjoyed cider and donuts courtesy of Yates Cider Mill. Organizers tallied up the points and the winning team received a gift basket.
I thought it was really fun. I think the kids had a blast, and it was great to see all the people out here and supporting Holy Spokes.
There was a beanbag toss, yes, a beanbag toss, and we had to take pictures at the birdhouses and at the lake, and we had to go. We could go up a big tough hill, but we chose not to do that one.
And make trivia questions.
We did trivia questions on Batman versus Superman.
And make a letter on TV.
Oh yeah.
And we made a T.
Take their bodies and form a letter.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah.
What was your favorite part?
I liked making the letters and taking a picture on the dock.
What about your favorite part?
I like eating the donuts.
What's your favorite part?
Blazing through the trails.
If you or someone you know would benefit from the efforts of Holy Spokes, give them a call at 586-894-8895 or visit holyspokes.org. You can also find them on Facebook.
Welcome back to the Lake Orion Boys Basketball Preview Show on ONTV. I'm your host, Anthony Taormina, and I'm here with Coach Manzo and the guys. Gentlemen, how are we doing?
Good.
Wonderful. I want to talk first about the coaching staff that you have this year, Coach. Also, last year you guys took pride in being one of the more prepared teams in the league with the scouting reports and everything like that. I also want to bring up your support staff. You talk to me about the coaching staff and the support staff.
Yeah, well, it's a big job. Any varsity coach goes through the same thing, and I think I learned a long time ago that next to your players, you have to surround yourself with good people. Mm-hmm. And just looking over the length of time at Lake Orion, there's been a lot of familiar faces, especially on the support side of things with you and your brother and Coach Jennings, who is, you guys have just done so much for us and help us with our preparation. You know, right down to Larry Berger for all those years that did the book, and Roger Smith that does such a professional job with everything. It's the whole game day, you know, atmosphere, and then your coaching staff. And you know, we're lucky enough to have a couple guys in the building with Coach Cubitt, and we added Coach Kopech, and of course Coach Walt, who was going to be part-time, and he shows up every day and doesn't ask for a thing. I just think he kind of fell in love with that team and liked the attitude, and they kind of play the way that he used to coach his teams. And you know, Coach Wise is obviously back, and our freshman coaches, Coach Grubbs and Coach Cox. So everybody's kind of, you know, it's just gear up and do it again. It's a tremendous amount of work, but when you have the amount of that help, the help that we get in the basketball program is terrific. And I think our guys last year were more prepared than the opponent. I really do. I felt like we did a lot of our homework. There were several nights we're out scouting, you know, 5 different games, and we're all over at different parts, but we're doing it to give our kids the best chance to win. And I think our kids felt that. I think they felt like they were the more prepared team, and that's our job. That's what we're supposed to do, and we're hoping to do that again for them this year.
Jack, what's your take?
Wait, can you say the question again, please?
I wanted to talk about how prepared, the most prepared team.
I remember every day after practice we're watching film and we're doing some extra or technique thing to learn a team better that Coach Manzo has that you guys provide him, which is good, and that he finds himself.
Kyle?
Well, I just think coaches last year, we bonded a lot. We had a lot of hard, close games, which helped us grow. And I'm excited to be back this year with the coaches, and the support is just awesome to us in many different ways as a program. They just always help us out. We appreciate it a lot.
Jake?
Yeah, I think I speak for everybody on the team when I say that we're incredibly thankful for everything that everybody brings to the table, because, you know, when we see the dedication that the coaches and the support staff bring for every single game, it makes us want to go home and watch more film, get ready for this game, you know. And I think, you know, it all starts with the support staff and the coaching, just getting us ready and getting everybody on the same page.
I want to talk about the role. What is you guys' role in the community? We often bring up, and I want to bring up particularly the Youth League and the Sunday League. I want to talk about the Youth League and the Sunday League and how important that is.
Well, these guys can probably speak to it better than I can, although it is a big part of what we do. That league on Sundays fills up very quickly, so obviously what we're doing is a good thing. But they're going to best speak about the benefits of it because they've, you know, been on both sides. They've been a young player in Lake Orion that have come up and, you know, played in the gym and used to come and watch other kids play, hoping one day that would be them out on the floor. And here they are sitting today, captains, talking about giving back in the Sunday program. So they'll probably speak to that. The only thing I can say is, and I tell them this every week, you know, just make a difference. Make a difference in the life of one kid. There's no limit to how many high fives you can get or hugs you can give somebody. But for that hour that you have them, you got to make them feel special. You got to make them feel like this is the best place you could be. So, and we try and do that. And it's a busy week for these guys because we only get one day off, and then it's back up there Sunday, and we're running the Sunday League, and then we normally practice afterwards. So there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and they put in a lot of hours, and it's all volunteer work for them. But, you know, like I said, they're probably going to give a much better answer than I would.
Jake?
Yeah, I would say with basketball in the community, I think it's about more than basketball, because I think we have a big impact on these kids' lives, but I think they have a really big impact on ours too. Because I think one of the most satisfying things about playing a game at home is seeing the kids that you coach there and them giving you high fives, them wearing your T-shirt with your name on the back. I mean, that's always great to see. And then coaching these teams, I mean, you get kids that most of them don't even know each other, and you're forming new friendships, and you're seeing how this is affecting their life in a positive way, and it's really great to see.
Yeah, from being in it to a little kid, from now coaching it, one thing it's taught me a lot is energy really does matter. Like if you throw out a few more high fives or a few more like claps, let's go, cheers, they all enjoy it and play much better, which kind of correlates to now where bench gets into it, we start getting into it, we see all the little kids behind us getting into it, and it's just play a lot better like that.
Jack?
Every year there's a couple kids who don't want to be there necessarily, and they're always the one winning a certain reward for like being the most outgoing or happiest at the end of the day or something. They're always winning at least once a year, so everyone's having fun.
Players, I want to ask you guys this question: who is between you guys sitting here, or who referees the fairest? Who is the best official out of everybody?
You talking players?
Yes, players.
I'm gonna wait and let them answer first, and then I'll get.
I think Kyle's the fairest ref, but I don't like to toot my own horn, but I think I'm the most energetic ref.
No, yeah, I'd have to agree. I think Jake's one of the better refs in the program.
Nothing's better than throwing out a charge call in a Sunday league game, getting into it.
I think Drew Van Heck gets it done. He's commander with the whistle, and he takes no games from the kids.
Oh yeah. Also a good pick.
I don't know about that. Let's see. Out of the guys there are some guys you don't want reffing a big game on.
Oh no!
Try and stay away. I'm not going to say any names, but there's a certain crews that the whistle just kind of hangs out, and then you hear a lot of complaints from above. Hey, you going to blow that whistle? Or, I would say Jake would be towards the top, and he likes to interact with them when he officiates, and Kyle is kind of all business. Jack is kind of our music guy. Jack handles a lot of the tunes and the DJs, and of course all the songs are school appropriate.
That's right.
So we give a big responsibility to Jack.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I want to talk about the basketball camps. When the brother and I, when Sam and I went in and visited, we saw an increase in numbers in the basketball camps. What's your take about that?
Well, we always rally late. We moved our camp a little bit later to, you try and stay away from Coach Schrammick has a camp, and we don't want to certainly pull kids. We want kids to go to all the camps. So, we kind of strategically move them around, and the last couple of years we've been, between 90 and 100 kids. So that's great, and it's like these guys are finding out. I said to the kids this summer, they're the lifeblood of Dragon basketball. The next, Jack Cummins is there, the next Jake Rydquist, the next Kyle Loken, the next Nate Talbot. I mean, they're in there. They don't know it, and they would never dream of it maybe, but they're probably sitting in that gym at camp. So it is great to see them grow, and we make it fun too. We have trophies, we play music, Coach Kelly Stallions does such a great job setting up all the contests, and she's got certificates that we give. Like Jack said, we have a Dragon of the Day, and sometimes we'll pick a kid that maybe he's not very good at basketball, but maybe he's a great listener, or he's the best hustler on the court that day, or had a great attitude, or encouraged a teammate. So a basketball camp is more than just basketball, like Jake said. It's a community thing, and you wake up in the morning and you're like, oh no, I got to go there but once you get there and you start interacting with the kids, they kind of pick your spirits up a little bit, and it has been fun. It has been fun.
Jack, what's your take?
I love doing it every time. We all do. It's fun going with the kids and having fun with everyone.
Kyle, what's your...
What really hits me is like we only get a week for the camps, but like each player or two players gets like a certain team. So like when the league, we get a lot of like time to bond with the kids. We only get a week now, but I feel like the bonds are almost equal with the kids because we're just always having fun, joking around. Yeah.
Yeah, I love doing the camp because it's fun to see all the kids at different ages and where they're at, and and it's fun to see how much of an impact you have on them, because it's surprising to me how many of these kids, I spent just a week of my summer with them, and I see them at a game in the winter and they just still remember me, come up and talk to me. It's just really back to more than basketball, because these kids are so excited to be there every day, and I think we do a great job of matching their energy and getting them excited to play.
And even the growth through the week. Like the first day, I'll have kids who barely make layups. The last day when we test them all, there's different tests. He's making like 7, 8 layups out of 10. So,
well, coaching.
That is awesome. I mean, I was seeing them at the camp, and I'm like, dang, they got so much better. Then you brought in speakers, and you know, just a great experience.
And that was another thing that Coach Kelly did. I mean, she does a lot behind the scenes. She doesn't like taking any credit for it, but she's a big part of our summer camps.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'll start with the players, then I'll go with Coach. I'll start with Jake. What is your season expectations?
I expect us to win the league. I think everybody is on the same page that we deserve to be here, and we all have the same mentality that we're going to bring this competitive drive every day. And I think we can be at the Breslin Center. I think why not us? There's no team in the state of Michigan that competes harder than us. And I think, like I said, we're all on the same page and we're just ready to play.
Kyle?
I think we could win the league, if not be a high competitor in the league and get a district, hopefully.
I think this is a huge year to show what we can do, and with everyone we got right now is the best year to win everything. So get to the Breslin and win.
Coach?
Yeah, I like competing, and I think the schedule to me just looks like there's going to be 20 nights to compete, and whether we're 10-10, 12-8, 8-12, 15-5, once that district rolls around, everybody's record is 0-0. And that's, I think, where everybody is pointing. Every year I tell a team we have placards on the wall in the field house, and each year a number goes up there, like that league championship, even going up last year, they can bring their son or daughter to a game in the future and say, hey, that was on that 2018 basketball team, and maybe in a couple years they'll come back and say, hey, I was on that district championship team, I was on that regional championship team, and we went all the way. And there's nothing wrong with dreaming big. I'm happy to hear that they have lofty expectations. There's going to be ups and downs, and it's really how you manage those ups and downs. And it is going to come down to chemistry. It's going to come down to supporting each other. And we kind of pride our program on playing defense and rebounding. We don't talk much about scoring, because if you're going to win, you got to stop people. And there'll be plenty of people to stop. So win-loss record aside, I think all of us have some similar goals.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
Thank you for having us. I'm glad you got 2 pencils today in case one of them busted.
Well, actually, I have 3. I have one on the floor. So.
Okay.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, man.
Thanks for having us on.
Thank you.
That will do it for the Lake Orion Boys Basketball Preview Show. I encourage you guys, come out to the field house to support Dragons basketball. If you can't make it in person, either watch on Orion ON TV or WDBC. Have a great night, Lake Orion. See you soon, and go Dragons.